Hello there, 2R. Just wanted to talk about what we're going to be covering this week. We are in World War One. Yay, World War One. The unfortunate part again is we're not in school, so we're relying solely on the textbook. There's so much more out there and so many better resources, but this is what we've got. So if you're watching this on Monday, you have the first set of questions due today, Road to World War One. We're going to cover the remaining sections of Chapter 23 throughout the week. So Section 2 is called The War, which covers the early days of the war. Again, the spark, so to say, is the assassination of Francis Ferdinand, but there are many events that led up to World War I, militarism, nationalism, etc. The end of that Section 2 does get into the United States entry into the war because of the Zimmermann telegram, because of the Germans attacking several ships of the Americans. The Lusitania is mentioned. That happens in 1915, but that kills over 100 Americans when the Germans attack it. Moving on, Section 3 in Chapter 23 is all about the Russian Revolution. The Russians will get out of World War I in early 1918 when the Bolsheviks take over. The Tsar and his family are murdered. And then Section 4 focuses on the end of the war. You won't get a lot of specifics on certain battles. Certainly, Battle of the Somme is important. Battle of Ypres, where they were using chemical gas, mustard gas. Battle of Chateau Thierry in 1918. That kind of breaks the Germans back. That's the Americans don't get in until 1917 and aren't really on the field in Europe and starting to fight until 1918. So end of the war, again, to refresh from 4L, it ends with the Treaty of Versailles. Woodrow Wilson had the 14 points, of which many were not put in place. He wanted to create an international peacekeeping organization that was created called the League of Nations. The United States never joins the League of Nations, and the League of Nations is more or less obsolete by the 1930s. Hitler in the 30s begins violating sections of the Treaty of Versailles, like rearming Germany, and no one does anything. The League of Nations is more or less powerless. For our audio chat this week, I uploaded 3 different letters from the front. 2 are German, 1 is British, so you get Allied and Central Powers. We're going to talk about those on Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon in our chats. Just what's the tone, what's the mood, what stood out, what did you notice. It's going to remind you a lot of All Quiet on the Western Front, which, if you remember back from 4L when we read that remark, he's writing as a German. Paul Baumer, the main character, was a German soldier. So that should jog your memory a bit for All Quiet. Ask me any questions that you may have. Our discussion board this week is optional. What was the main cause of World War I? You don't have to comment if you don't want to. Rather than a discussion board, I thought it'd be valuable to take some time, work on your research papers. Again, if you are writing, a body paragraph a week, you're going to have it done and not be forced to kind of write it that last week. Work a little bit at a time, work a little bit each day. That's what I would recommend. That's even how I write papers for my grad classes. So any questions that you have, please email me or direct chat with me. I look forward to them, and I hope you guys have a good week reading and refreshing and learning about World War I. Take care of yourself.